All right, we're recording. This is our March 3rd Rising Stars call. So I'm super excited. We have new people joining us this month. I usually like to take a few minutes right at the very beginning to just give you guys an overview of what this class is all about. So this is a class that is only for recruiters, okay? In Rodana Fields, we have lots of people who build big PC businesses or little PC businesses, customer-oriented businesses. We have people who, dabble, and do a little bit. We have people who, build, but it's kind of inconsistent, and then we have the builders, and those are the ones that are adding new partners each month. They're kind of following our cycle of success, and, they're talking to enough people that they're able to grow their business by the criteria of this class, which is you're adding, hi Andrea, you're adding one a month, or you've got to have two in a 2-month period. All right, does that make sense? So if, let's say, you're brand new this month and you're really rocking it, but just those decisions don't happen in March, you've got to have 2 in April. Right? So you got to have 2 in a 60-day window. Does that make sense? And honestly, that's even a little bit under our recruiting bar that we set. But I've learned, and this class has really taught me that working together over the long haul, we're really seeing the promotions come out of this class. And I'm really proud of you guys. We're seeing incredible things. Amy had a promotion a couple months ago. Jessica promoted to level 1. Some of our our premier level 5 promotion and her level 5 had an event tonight, so they couldn't be here. Hi, we've got our new folks jumping on. Happy to have you. So we're just kind of giving a quick little overview. So just giving kind of this welcome. And so this class is for recruiters. So I feel like the stewardess on the American, on the airplane that says, if you thought this plane was going to San Antonio, it's not. It's going to New York. So this train that if you're brand new and you've said, okay, my upline told me to be on it. If you thought this was kind of just fun and games and you were just going to get another class to learn how to do business, I want to tell you right now, it's not cutthroat, but it's competitive. We compete with ourselves. We're aggressively recruiting, and you're going to see when we look at the stat page, if you're not recruiting, you're gone. We love you, but you got to keep that 2 every 2 months, okay? So that pressure for a lot of you really keeps you in. Raise your hand if you've worked your ass off right at the end of the month to stay in the class, right? I was like, yeah, I work hard to stay. All right, so just want to give that quick little welcome. I have another special guest, and we just have a couple minutes with her, and I thought, how fun, because I'm actually going to be inviting her to attend our calls as she can per her schedule, because she's a recruiting animal. I'm so excited. So I want to introduce you guys all to Dr. Claire Anstead from Melbourne, Australia. So in my computer, she's up there in the upper left-hand screen. So say hi, Claire.
Hi, everyone. Hello.
I'm so excited to have you on. I messaged you this afternoon. I'm like, Claire, once I got that launch date, and I know we're not talking Australia tonight with this group per se, but we know it's May. Our pre-enrollees get to turn on their business. They get to buy the kit, get the products, everything in April, that you're going to be right in this class working with us. And I thought, well, why not, give you a little preview and have you say hi.
I'm excited.
I know. And I didn't even tell you what you were going to do, but I'd love for you just to maybe just give them, a little heads up of, you've been pretty busy since December.
Yeah.
Maybe I haven't even prepped you at all, but maybe just a quick little, I'll let you share some of your stats and what you're working towards, just so they can get a feel for what you're doing down there in Melbourne.
Okay, perfect. Well, I'm originally from Saskatchewan in Canada, and I've been in Melbourne for 3 years now. So I keep looking at my door, not because I'm distracted, but I'm actually in student hours at the moment. So I'm a lecturer at the University of Melbourne. I just finished a lecture, and so they're coming by to pick up all their lab books. But I'm so excited that launch was announced today, which is just crazy. We've just been counting down, wanting just any information that we could get. So being from Canada, familiar with the products, super exciting that everything is coming to Australia. And so I've been telling as many people as I possibly can. So at the moment, I have 8 Australians that are pre-enrolled on my team. And then I also have 4 Canadians that are being really wonderful and patient and just waiting for launch so then they can, join the team. And yeah, I'm so motivated now that I know that I can get my kid in April and launches in May. And I want to start at level 5. So that's my goal. And I love challenges. And yeah, we've got some really amazing, motivated people on the team. So it's just a cool time. It's very, very exciting.
Yeah, we've had so much fun. And some of you have seen her because you're on the Dreamatology Australia. She did that great training that we did. I just thought it was so great of her to just so early on in the business to step in and join me for that. So I just want to thank you so much. And, we're going to talk a lot about this. And Claire, I'm going to let you jump off here in just a couple of minutes. But we're going to talk a lot on tonight's call is really about this new kind of run for convention. And what I find is if we start to train ourselves, honestly, to run against the rewards, and whether that reward is a lead the way reward, if I just got my Beats headphones, which is kind of cool, if it's a lead the way reward or, a goal to be level 5 so you can register for convention as a 5 or, so Claire's, what she gets, so here's what's happening in Australia. We did the similar thing in Canada. If she'll have from May until August to become level 5. We open in April, so she'll have to be level 5, 3 of those 4 months going to convention. She gets an all expense paid trip to the US. That's a sweet deal. It's so worth running for. And then there's leader luncheons, which you might have to stretch for a bit, but she's eyeing those too, so just to attend a luncheon, Claire's really going to stretch herself if she gets 15 direct and 5 of them each have 2. Is that how that's going to go, Claire?
Yeah,
that's how it is. She gets to go to lunch, probably with a Ron. And so I think about, a lot of those things that we have here in the U.S., just different programs, leader luncheons. And I know we have big stuff happening in Atlanta, Amy, for you and your team at the end of March. Trying to think where else we have stuff going on around the country. But Andrea, I think, just attended a couple of events in the DC area. So we're going to talk tonight about running against those incentives. And it has such a financial reward as well as the bragging rights of it all, right? So anyway, I'm so proud of Claire. She's really smart. She jumped in, she set up her own little pre-enrollment page, and she's been kind of, invited all her friends to just watch and learn. And all of them are watching and learning. I think when this launch date really comes out, I think you're going to have several more pre-enrollments, but she's just been really smart about it. And to do all that, granted, those pre-enrollees aren't having to throw down, funds yet, but they have to do all this belief without any product, without any, they get a little website, but, the work that you have to do, again, sometimes our challenges are money, yours is belief, and tangibleness. Anyway, since I know you have office hours, you told me you had a couple minutes at the top of the hour, but I just wanted you to come in, just say hi. This is about half of the group. Maybe there's 22 people in the group, but we're at about, if there's 22, we usually should have maybe 15. And then tonight we're just a little smaller because I had to move the night and everybody had things already going on. But it's great. We did a holiday gift exchange over Christmas, which we all peed our pants, just nonstop laughter for hours. We had a party in Las Vegas. All the rising stars came, and we have a lot of fun together. So this is a group that, we're helping each other. A lot of times I'll bring in other, help for training and things like that. And so Claire, would love to have you join us next Wednesday because we know you have aggressive recruiting goals and want to help you do that. So we're going to cover some fundamentals. One thing, I know you have a copy of this book because I sent it to you, right? Just before I let Claire jump off, I want to make sure that everybody gets a copy of Romy's book, and it will be
so good.
It's so good. Yep. You grab it if you have it nearby. Make sure you jump on Amazon. It'll be there by next Wednesday because I want to start doing some kind of book club, pieces out of here, assigned reading. Some of you guys circling back, especially because this is all about recruiting. Handling objections, knowing how many people to talk to, your posture, all of those kinds of things. So we should have done this probably last month, but we're going to start this now. So in order to be a member, you have to go buy your $11 Get Over Your Damn Self, because we do a lot of that kind of work in the class. Okay. Claire, you're welcome to stay with us. I'm going to kind of dive into a little bit of the, I'm going to share my screen here in a second and kind of show the stat sheet and do a little bit of orientation. So you're welcome to kind of stay on while I dive into that.
I've noticed that I've got a little crowd outside of my window, so I'm gonna love you and leave you, ladies. But it's so nice to meet all of you, and I'm pumped. I'm super excited to be, joining you, and it'll just be really good motivation to just keep recruiting, so then I get to hang out with you and learn from all of you, because
I think we'll be learning a lot from you too, which is great. So we'll see you back here next Wednesday. Okay, bye, honey.
Okay, yeah, bye, ladies.
Sweet. All right. Okay, so let's just say hi to some of our new folks, and we'll go through the roster really quickly so we'll kind of know who else will be joining us next week. So this will be like our little preview club, and we'll have our full group on next week. So did she fall off? Oh, no, there's Jenny, and Jenny is on. Jenny, who are you? You're muted. I'm going to ask you a question. Who are you direct to?
Okay, so I'm direct to Tanya, who's joining in tonight too, Tanya Dickey.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And Tanya's under Melody.
Yes, awesome. And who did you recruit last month? Tell us your story, because you had to earn a spot in this class. Tell us.
So I just recruited my first consultant. Her name is Kim. She's a good friend of mine and lives in the town where I live, and so she's my first one.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, great. And, just hang tight with us. You might feel that pressure in this class, but you get to kind of come in with, you got the next, 2 months to make something happen, and I know you will. So big goals. Okay, all right. And then, so this is Tanya Dickey. You're at the bottom of my screen. So, okay, wonderful. And you're new to the class. So Tanya, you can unmute and just tell us a little bit about your new partner that joined, and tell us where you're from.
I am from Buffalo, Minnesota, and I've been doing Rodan & Fields for 2 months now. Jenny was my first consultant. And recently, last month, who did I add, Jenny? I'm trying to forget. Oh, my sister. She's using the for 6 weeks and loved them. So she hopped on the wagon with me.
Okay.
And then my other consultant was, who was my other consultant? Tammy. So she is a client of mine.
Okay.
As I own a fitness studio and a personal trainer. So I'm pretty new, but super excited, and I'm glad to meet everyone, and
good.
Hope we'll go forward.
We love to tell the stories of the consultants that are on our team. So my first advice to you would be get to know those stories, so when people ask you, you're like, I got so-and-so over here, I got so-and-so over here, and she's a personal trainer, and she's a chef, and they're rocking their business, right? So you want to have that posture. I'm already training you. I'm listening to you, and there's a lot of tentativeness about what's going on in your business. So this is about leaning in, because this is a rocket ship that's about to take off. And so we're all learning from each other. So I'm always looking for little clues and ways to coach you guys as I listen, talk about your business. Good job. Putting you on the spot from day one. Okay.
No problem.
So I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to go look at stats. All right, we're going to look at this in just a minute. I'm going to walk through the run to convention. You guys are totally getting a preview on it. And I want you to ask me questions too, because I'm not sure I have all the answers yet. And so, we're going to circle back to that in a minute. So let's go to our stat sheet. Okay. Now, the other thing, and it's why I really ask my leaders to make sure our newbies are kind of ready to hear some of the messages, because while we're all like, this is amazing and we're so excited, there's elements and truth to the business that we all have to kind of work with. All right. So let's take a look. I'm super excited. We'll just kind of go down the list. Amy Chasey, I'm so glad you're here. You've really had a whole new mind shift and change in your business. From Atlanta. Andrea Danzer is out in the kind of the Washington, D.C. area, and Andrea brought a new consultant on, and I love Andrea's story because she's been battling and kicking cancer's ass and, doing that all while building her business. So I'm really proud of her. We have some new people on Trisha's team who I think Bobby in her first month had a PSQV of like 2611, or I just happened to see it the other day. So someone who's really diving in and going fast. Deanna is a great member of the team out of North Dakota and just always consistently recruiting and building her team. And, I probably send more people her way than she would like for hairstylists. Deanna's like my hairstylist story, like the one who's really figured out how to bring the model into her business. And I just love her story. I didn't see Diane on again. Me changing the date really messed things up. And Diane is under Rebecca Longsworth. This group has a big plan. Jessica, I'm so excited, promoted to level 1, brought in 2 consultants last month. And up in Montana, she's getting married. She just brought some property up here. So she's from Boston and going to be, she's going to want a big, beautiful house. So she needs to get this thing ramped up. Jillian's in Calgary. You guys are going to love her. Jillian just added a new partner in Kodiak, Alaska. We've been zooming a lot to Kodiak. And her partner had a 400 PSQV in her first 4 or 5 days of business. So we're excited about that. I don't know where Candace is tonight. She didn't check in with me. She's my new level 2 in Bozeman. Laura Edens is having a spa night at her house tonight, and she leads a team out of Santa Cruz. And we lost a couple of her team members this week, so I'm kind of bummed. I'm going to miss them, but they need to get their butts back in the class. Lynette Gwynn is my rock star down in Cave Creek, but commutes to Chicago. I'm just giving a quick update. Mary Brockman, I'm going to have to slap myself because I don't know your story as well, other than you were in a chili cook-off. And I'll never forget that. Mary, tell me where you're from. Remind me. Or you're probably muted. You're muted. Unmute. Unmute. There you go.
There I am. There we go. Yeah, no, I'm from Minnesota.
That's what I thought. Okay. And you're under who? Who are you under?
Under Heather.
Okay, yeah. Okay, great.
Heather Mosley. Yeah, yeah.
Did you have 3 new partners last month? Two,
and I have 2 pre-enrolls in Australia.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. And I'm gonna jump off early because we're doing a training. I'm gonna train one of the gals.
Okay.
At 9:00. So.
Okay. All right. Great. We'll hurry up. Melody just promoted to Premier level 5, and hit. Well, she hit level 5 circle like in between, so she didn't get to earn level 5 circle. So I'm super excited because Premier, she's now going to start qualifying for Napa. Rebecca Longsworth, I don't think could be on tonight, and she was the one we heard last week had brought on 3 consultants last month. Just crushing it. Just super exciting. We heard from Tanya. We heard from Jenny a little bit. Tanya Breton has an event tonight too, and she's a new level 5 circle. Leslie Bush is my level 5 in Fort Worth, and she's actually officially joining the team. She's always kind of been listening in and watching in, but she's actually going to really get in, along with Melody and Lynette and Laura, who are already 5s, but working with us, training with us because they want to push. They want to, push even harder. Tim Gleason, who's our rock star out of Seattle, super consistent recruiter. And I'm excited to see, what's happening, what's going to happen with him as we head into convention. And then Trish just joined us. I'm so happy, Trish. I'm just going down the roster because I'm going to set you guys up for the next slide. I'm going to show you because I want to send a message and I want to scare our new people. But before I go there, I want to just showcase Trish for just a minute. Trish promoted to level 5. Just 2-3 days ago? So let's raise a toast to Trish. Woohoo! The girl's she's got chutzpah. Trish, would love for you to just share a few words about that experience and how that felt, setting that goal and meeting that goal.
Yeah, so I'm excited that I finally hit level 5. I'd been working for it for a long time, a couple of years. But I just basically said it's going to happen no matter what. And so, it's all about the team. And I have some runners on my team, some of whom are part of this group, and I have some who are not runners. And I basically, worked with them to kind of hoist them so that I'd have enough legs to hit level 5. But we also, Bridget, while I was in Costa Rica, ran a generous and fun promotion, and everybody who signed up a new PC got a mineral peptides powder for their new PC. And then we were able to put that order under a couple of my legs to pop them up to EC. So definitely a team effort. And I'm just going to work really hard this month to get some people who I think could be runners up to EC level, so I don't have to hoist anybody again.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then, now I've got a big goal. I certainly want to hit Premier by convention. So.
Trish, you and I had a really great conversation the other day about, and I think this is true of, and this is a really important message, because this whole run to convention is there's going to be elements of this to that. So, she was like, I just wanted it, everybody wants to get to their title organically. And a lot of times you do. You had a lot on the line. You didn't know about run to convention. What you knew was if you were level 5 by the end of February, you would get priority registration for convention. And I thought that was a very smart move on her part. But I think really what we have to remember is anytime our especially our new people, but for Trish, and when we promote in title, we continue to show our team the way. Okay. So, watching Trish go from 3 to 4 was such, because I'm on her team page, totally changed the dynamic of her team. And so she, from 3 legs, or from level 3, that means she had 4 ECs underneath her. But to get to, that jump from 3 to 4 took you a couple of months. But the jump just made this huge difference and really created this belief, because at that point people went, she's gonna make it. This is really gonna happen. And, it is, but you have a couple people who this business is not at the same priority as everyone else. So we got creative, and that's what I told her. As I said, you learn some really powerful lessons. And I think as we look at this run to convention, we're all going to be looking for ways, like, how can we really make this recruiting happen, help make these new EC promotions happen, and I'll talk through some strategies about that. So great job on that. And you have, Trisha's thinking she has the people, but she has a gal who was climbing Kilimanjaro, and all of a sudden, like, your goals don't mesh with that kind of stuff, or somebody has a baby, or who was I talking to today? I got a call from a woman in Seattle, Sherry Weberg, had like intestinal surgery. I mean, it took her out of the game. She was like a level 3, rising and reaching on her way to 5. And then her sister had a riding accident and had brain damage. And then like 6 months later, she had all this intestinal surgery. I mean, took her out. She's back to EC and trying to figure this out. So, this business has a lot of variables. So I want to kind of just show that for just a minute, to show a couple things. So for those of you so what I'm showing is the stat page. So I can go back to the Facebook page and we can go through it. There's a link to this on the Facebook page that you're all a member of now. So we're not going to do the teams because things have shortened. So we had 40 people in the class last month, and the criteria started in January was that by the end of February, you had to have 2 people on board. I mean, that's 1 a month. When most of you joined, at least, and I know this has been reiterated over and over again, is that 2's the marker. Two's where you want to be. Does anybody want to answer the question, and see if you remember the phrasing I use, but it's okay if you don't. But why is it you want your recruiting per month to be 2 to 3? Why don't I let you guys answer that instead of me talking? Anybody have the answer to that? Why is it that? Like, why is it 2 to 3? Like, why isn't it 1 every other month? Like,
I can answer that from experience.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because if you don't, the people that quit are going to drag your monthly volumes down. So you've got people that are in rehab. Yes, that happened. You have to plan people that go into witness protection. You have to plan for people that don't answer your calls after they just spent $1,000 on a kit. You got to plan for people that close their month with $495 volume and go to bed. So if you don't recruit 2 more,
We lost your sound for a second.
Yeah, she's so right, because we never know who the runners are going to be. I mean,
Right.
you know, they might be gung ho. The other thing too is, I mean, you've coached us on this consistently, Bridget, is that, you know, we want to set the pace,
Yeah.
and if we're not setting the pace, how can we expect people on our team to follow, you know,
Yeah.
follow that lead? I mean, if we want them to be recruiting 2 to 3 a month, we've got to be doing it too.
Because they're watching us, just like they would watch their boss. Do you ever notice, you know, any of you guys that have managed any people or even, you know, been in any kind of office environment when the boss is away? I mean, what's the phrase, right? When the boss is away, the cats or the mice or, you know, the kids will play. And so us not recruiting is kind of like the boss being away, right? They're looking to you to see what they have to do. And Meredith Teason gave me the statistic is your team will do half what you do. So let's say your recruiting number is 4 a year. Well, your team's going to do 2, if that. I mean, those that even do it. We're not even talking about witness protection, you know, those that, and you know, you're going to have some that just come in and buy wholesale and just, so our job is to qualify them and to see where they're at. And it just makes me reiterate what this class is all about. What I'm trying to show you guys is work with your runners. There's no one in this class on my direct line or that I coach directly. If they're not running, they don't get my time. I love you. I can love you to death, but you do not get my time if you're not recruiting. You just don't. So I'm trying to teach some of you guys that at an early age. And I wish somebody would have taught me that sooner, because I think in my 3rd or 4th year, I got really bogged down with kind of managing and wanting it more for the people on my team and listening to them as they were at level 2 and 3 saying, I'm going for it, I'm going for it, I'm going for it. And then just the evidence never showed up. So the other point I just want to make about February is that, like, a lot of these people will be back, but a lot of people didn't live up to just the minimum expectations, and they really wanted it. I can't tell you what everybody was doing in their business. The one phrase that I love to share is, I didn't know I wasn't talking to enough people until I started talking to enough people. Let me say that again. I'm really not that wasted. I'm just probably my jaw's tired. I didn't know I wasn't talking to enough people until I started talking to enough people. There's someone on this call that I think that might be how you believe. That phrase reminds me of Amy Chasey. Does that sound like something you would say? Yeah. Do you want to maybe share a thought or two on, you know, what happened in your business when you really started talking to people and being, you know, honest with yourself about what it takes to build a business?
It's when I really got in touch with my why, to be honest with you, and really just started sharing that. And that's when my business just skyrocketed and I started recruiting, and I am where I am right now. So, but before that, I had a great PC base and wasn't happy with that, you know, and it just came down to being real with my why and just sharing with an open heart.
Yeah.
And that's when my business took off.
Yeah. And when you found that why, it made it so much easier to talk about the business. And then when it's easier to talk about the business, then you're talking to more people. So these steps that we have you guys take about why are you doing this and really being in touch with it help drive everything forward. It's not just a fun little exercise that we want you to go through for your own health, you know, or just because we want you to do something before you launch. It's the mechanism that drives everything. So all I want to say about these folks aren't attrition, because these are people that wanted it, but I just don't think we're talking to enough people, and we're maybe kind of kidding themselves and posting their way through the business or talking to the same people over and over. And so they're going to learn some of those lessons, and they can come back in the classic. Once you're out, doesn't mean you're out. It just means you gotta, you know, it's your business. You got to start tinkering with the dials, and the dials that we tinker with are, well, there's not that many variables. The variables are how many people am I talking to, but I'm going to tell you the real true variable. All right. This is the truest of the true variables, because you can't kid yourself about this. I honestly think Like I have this list and I posted a picture of it behind me and I'm not even through it yet because a bunch of them are chicken lister people. That one that I did like the selfie and I had some people, the names behind me, it's still over here on my board. And I've talked to maybe, there's 20 people. I've talked to personally 6 of them. And the others, I go look at their page and I chicken out. I don't know her well enough. I don't have her number. But that day, it felt like I did the work, all right? So the biggest metric for how you're growing your business, too, is am I doing events? Either little conference calls with friends, virtual, in person, and then to me, the most powerful metric, and actually we're kicking off a really fun kind of theme with Romy on Sunday night. The real metric is, am I doing 3-way calls? Am I talking to enough people that I can get 2 to 3 3-way calls done a week? That's going to set the pace for the business that you want to build. You know, so if you go the whole month, so guess what we track in this class? We track, and you get massive, you get some of the bigger points. You get the second highest points for 3-way calls. All right. So every week we want to know how many 3-way calls you did. And you guys, you notice when we went from February where we had really crappy 3-way call numbers and they jumped up, in February, we started seeing record volume. And you leaders that know, and you have people underneath you starting to do 3-way calls. Like Trish was in Costa Rica. I did 3 with her team while she was gone. It was such a delight. So awesome to have those 3-way calls coming in. Now, the other piece is your team is going to do 3-way calls unless you're doing them with your upline. I know you guys, what I'm trying to tell you is that even though they don't know you're maybe doing this activity, because you don't call your team and go, oh my God, I just had the most amazing 3-way with my upline. They know. They somehow instinctively know if you're doing 3-way calls. All right? Because, that's what I find. When I'm not doing them, they're not doing them. So we've got to be doing them with our upline. I've had a lot of people ask me, well, why can't I count points for the ones I do with my team? And the only reason I don't do that is because some of you have really big teams. So some of you would have like massive points because you just have a bigger front line. So I kind of wanted to make sure it's really about me reaching out to Romy or Jessica reaching out to Lynette, or Amy reaching out to Leslie to do that 3-way call. So I get asked that question even by some of our kind of ongoing folks, like, why don't I get credit again for all the 3-ways I'm doing? And that's just because it's an equalizer for the team. All right. You get points for having 600 by the 6th, at least this month anyway. We can keep it in here for this class. That's fine with me. You get the biggest points for having new EC legs, because that's the power of this business, is having other people come in, launch their business, reach into their sphere of influence. That's how your business really grows. Yes, we get paid the most commission on the PCs, but seriously, there aren't enough PCs in the universe to deliver the kind of paycheck that any of us want. There just aren't. And I have a nice big robust. I just signed a new PC today. I probably have about 60 PCs. I have 20 to 25 PC orders every single month. It's awesome. I get tons of lead the way miles from it, but that's not my PC business per month is 1/50th of my business, of my paycheck, or my PCs. All right. Okay. So with that, does that sound good, you guys? That all makes sense? Let's dive over to this new program. We'll talk through it. And ask me questions too, because I don't have it all. So these are slides that I got and so this is all coming out Monday from corporate. So I was on a call today with other Premier Level 5. So get to Premier Level 5, because that's the point when corporate will actually roll this kind of stuff out to you. And then you then can deliver it to your team. So we need more leaders in the field, who are level 5 and then pushing, to Premier, so that we can get help disseminating all this stuff and training on it. So it'd just be so helpful. All right. Let's stop here for a minute. We have some new people. We have, so what's the big deal about convention? Because we're recording this call. So what's the big deal about convention? Let me play this video for you. Here, let me do this really quick. I hate when I'm going to share again. Raise your hand. Oh, good. Diane's with us. Raise your hand if you were at the last convention. Okay. So about half. Okay. So I'm just going to play the video so you can see what we all experienced. And it was actually more fun than the video because Megan Trainor's not in there. Our Rising Stars party is not in there. Our level 5 party at the top of the whatever awesome hotel, literally at the top of Las Vegas. It was an amazing night. None of that's in this video. Okay. Oh, hold on. I'm losing my mind. I got to share my screen. Sorry. Where'd you guys go? Hold on. Okay. All right, you go back and share my screen. Sorry. Okay. And then I'm going to have Trish kind of share her convention experience. I was in there. Who wants to go now? Does anybody want to go now? Raise your hand. Good. Yeah, go. You can find this video on YouTube. You just search Rodanna Fields Convention Corporate or Rodanna Fields Convention 2016. All right, I'm going to tell my convention story here in just a little bit, just to put it in context for those of you that haven't heard it. But Trish, I would love for you, because you made a decision at one of the conventions. Tell the folks kind of how conventions impacted your business.
Sure. So I want to back up a little bit though, because I joined in April of 2014.
Okay.
And that year convention just happened to be in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And so I was like, what the heck? It's right here. But I have to tell you, I don't think I would have gone if it had been anywhere else. I didn't understand the value of it, and I wouldn't have necessarily that early in my business wanted to spend the money to go somewhere else. But after I went to the Atlanta convention, I was like, I'm going every single year, because the information, the news, the announcements, the energy that you get out of the convention is just so incredibly valuable and can impact your business. But the real aha moment happened for me the next year when I went to Austin, because as soon as we were able to sign up for convention, boom, I signed up, got my room and everything. So I went to Austin, and I think I had, I didn't even realize until we went to Las Vegas convention this year that I had dropped. So when I went to the first convention, I didn't even track levels. I was a level 1. And then, and I think that must have been Rebecca, who had joined, my second consultant to join. And then I didn't even realize when I went to Austin, I dropped down to EC. So I went back and looked at my badges, and I dropped down to EC for Austin, but I wasn't really focused on that. At the convention, the big aha moment for me was in Austin was a couple of things. The business story just completely blew me away. I hadn't even been thinking about Rodan and Fields as a real, quote unquote, a real business with a huge market opportunity and this, really strategic expansion plan. I really had been thinking about it as, the side gig and not necessarily a hobby, but put up some of those slides with the market opportunity. It completely blew me away. And I was like, okay, there's a much bigger story here than my little why I want to be home and be flexible for my kids. And so when I came back from convention, I started telling more of that business story because it's incredibly compelling, whether it's the first thing you say or the backup to your why. But the other thing that happened was the very first session, I got off the plane, I threw some clothes on in the bathroom, I couldn't even get in my room, ran over to convention, and I walked into a session, and there was a woman, and I can't remember her name, but Bridget, I'm sure you could remember this. There were, I think, 3 panelists talking about their journey, their path to RFX. And one of them, and I might get this a little bit wrong, but I think she'd been working at Nordstrom's, and she was responsible for placing people behind the beauty counters and staffing.
Stacey Roney.
Yeah. She was talking, and it just, again, this is even before the business presentation. And she talked about how in her little Rolodex, she had some people who had left Nordstrom's, I think it is, and who were working with this business, Rodan and Fields. And she'd call them occasionally to, staff, part-time. This is kind of early in the Rodan and Fields business, I think. And it was Chris Fairless and Sarah Robbins. And she said they never asked her if she was interested in the business. Else actually asked her to join, and she's like, heck yeah, I know how great these products are. And that really resonated with me too. So the very first session that I went to, I'm like, that totally paid for the entire trip.
Right.
But the other interesting thing that happened was Rebecca was about to terminate right before I went to Austin. She had basically asked for the termination papers and was not active and was just ready to back out completely. But she saw the energy, and my excitement coming from convention, because of course I was posting on Facebook since I lived there. And when I came back, she's like, I'm in. I'm just like, it lit me on fire. And she wasn't even at the convention. So I can tell you that it can just, and now she's my power partner. She had like,
yeah, can you imagine if she would have
ordered in PSQV last month and she hit, level 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's completely on fire and brought on Diane and some amazing partners. And so, the power of convention is phenomenal. And I will always, always go to convention. That's why I was pushing so hard for level 5 in February, because I was like, I have got to get into convention for my team and be there to hear the news firsthand and to feel that energy firsthand and to share that with my team and with my prospects.
Yeah, I think it's the ultimate in personal development. So, but for those of you that are new, or for those of you that haven't been around for a couple of years, I went to the first convention. I was a team of 1. I had enrolled 2 weeks prior and was broke off my butt. I had no money to go to convention, but was able to get a cheap flight down on Allegiant. It was in Phoenix. There were 700 people there. I was a team of 1. The next year was New Orleans, and I grabbed my hubby and took him with me. And I believe in New Orleans, with some spouses and things like that, maybe 25 people in my whole organization a year later. a year after that, we were in San Francisco, and I had 150 people partying with me at the top of the Hyatt in San Francisco. And then the next 2 years, we did a couple of things in Nashville that were kind of pseudo conventions. And I believe I had close to 700 people. Those were just the ones that went. Those weren't the people on my team. Those were the ones that bought a plane ticket and went to convention. Then in Atlanta, over 1,000, in Austin, over 1,500, in Las Vegas, close to 2,000 of those people in that arena are in Team Dreamatology and its various machinations, Team Give and, Legacy under Cassie and on and on and on and on. So I want to tell you, conventions are powerful. Leaders go to events. All right. Now, here's what's changed. There was actually a wait list for that very first convention because they were just in this tiny hotel in Phoenix. But so we've had wait lists every year, but like the New Orleans wait list probably was like 5 days before it's maybe sold out. What happened last year for Las Vegas, and I was totally caught flat-footed. I was telling my teams the registration opened like in March, and I told them maybe April, and I was like, oh, you probably have till June. Like it might sell out in June or July. So, save up the money, get registered. That convention sold out in 1 day. Okay. What I heard today is we can only accommodate about 4% of the Rodana Fields field at convention. Only about 4% capacity, all right? So times have changed, right? When kind of everybody could go to Atlanta and pretty much everyone could go to Nashville and everyone could go to Austin. We're now in the biggest arenas that we can find and the biggest convention cities we can find. And yeah, there are some bigger convention halls, but we're where we're at. So a change, and you're gonna get this message direct from corporate, but you're getting it, you're getting a heads up from me. So we can't accommodate, we can't do that anymore. And it was in the past, it's always been, well, if you went the year before, you got early bird and you're pretty much guaranteed a spot at the next convention. It's not going to happen. So just know that right now. Okay. So for our folks too that are joining, like right now, I think about Diane Mackey and Bobby Mack and, those guys and Rebecca and some of you who didn't go, just timing wasn't good for you, opted out, didn't make sense, all those kind of things. I've never missed a convention. So I've always gotten the pre-reg early bird, and then you get to a certain title and you do get those thing. And then Trish saw that opportunity to say, you know what, I'm going to run for 5 because I want a guaranteed spot. And she didn't know, nobody knew that Run for Convention was coming. I'm excited about it because the biggest frustration with Vegas, and for those of you that were a part of that, was that anybody could register. If they were a C who just wanted a tax write-off to go party in Vegas and, and never built a business, they could go. And so for those of us who had level 5 leaders that couldn't even get registered, you guys saw what Jen Timms went through. She couldn't, here's this pregnant level 5 at convention. She just went without a badge and we just worked to find her one. It was crazy. She had to, so we had these people who were really working their business and doing stuff, but because their internet wasn't as fast as their neighbor, they couldn't get a spot. So we're no more going to rely on internet speed on launch day to get a spot at convention. And I'm sharing all this with you guys because I'm really hoping you take this message. That's what we do in this class. This isn't like for you just to take this little message and hang on to it. It's for you to pick up the phone and call your teams. Jessica, you call Ann, and Amy, you call Gina, you call your team and say, this is the new deal. This is the new deal. I want you to watch this convention video and make a decision if you want to go, because I will do everything in my power to get you there. But you're going to have to work with me. All right, I'm training you leaders. Tim, I'm training you to reach back to your team and go, Trinity, watch that video. Is that somewhere you want to be next October? All right. And you've got a great convention story too. So I'm doing this to educate you, but so that when all the stuff really comes out from corporate, you guys are setting up one-on-one meetings with your team to go, those that are working and running and working this business. So that's what this training is about, is for you to really get your head around, well, I want to run, but I want to be like Bridget. I don't want to be a team of one. You're not joining the company 2 weeks before convention. You're joining 8 months before convention. If you go to convention as a team of one, I'm going to be pissed at you. That would just be the dumbest thing in the world for you to go to convention as a team of one. You could be going with a team of 10. All right. So be thinking about, because I could leapfrog Bridget. I mean, shoot, if I went by myself, then it might take me so X number of years to get to 2,000 consultants who could, possibly go to convention. I want to jump from, I want to get 10. I want to have a team of 10. So here's how we're going to do it. The power is yours. You decide if you're going to go, and the company wants to create an equitable way. And they also want to fill the arena. So I can't even imagine the energy at this convention, because it's going to be full of people who ran and earned it. I mean, not just got lucky and had a great internet connection. They worked their ass off to get there. So can you imagine how engaging the sessions are going to be? And, it's just going to be amazing. It's all going to help us really focus our teams on what's important in our business. Yes, we are a consumer product company. You will sell a boat ton of product. Please do not think because I am telling you all to recruit your little heinies off that product doesn't matter. It does. It just goes to the people that aren't interested in the business. All right, so here's what we know. Here's who gets guaranteed invitations to register. Yay! Trish, Melody, Tanya, Leslie, Laura, everyone who is a level 5 and above as of February is guaranteed. They're going. They're in. Claire's going to run her ass off, and she's got to get to level 5 and hold it for 3 months. And she's got 4 months to do it from the launch. All right, so she's going to go. I have other Australians who said, oh, yeah, I want it. And they haven't done it. All right, and that's okay. They'll still be successful and grow a business, but they want to go to convention. Well, I don't know how they're going to get there. They're going to have to work their butts off in March and April. If you get to lead the way milestone 4, which is also, that's hard work as well, but I actually think what they're offering is kind of equally, focused. And then if you've achieved, so I'm thinking of Tanya, Tanya was level 5, but if you achieve, so someone who's coming into level 5 circle, which is 25,000 and above. So maybe you're a level 4 with like 20,000 in volume, and you bump up into level 5 circle and hold it March, April, May, June, or whatever in that time period, they're going to get a guaranteed spot. But that's still, honestly, that's still a pretty small, our level 5 leaders represent about 1%. So if the company can handle 4% of the population, or maybe level 5s and above, or maybe now, I don't know, 1.5% of the population of the company, maybe 2. So they're going to create a point-based system where you can run and earn some fun cash rewards, some branded swag. You could get a guest there, which I think would be pretty awesome. They're going to hold a hotel spot for you, so you don't have to go hunting around Vegas for a hotel. Not that that should be that hard, and then the top achievers are going to get some main stage recognition, which is fun. But really, in order to guarantee yourself a registration spot, you just need 15 points. So how
Bridget?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can you make that full screen so I can see it?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, request that kind of stuff anytime. Is that helpful? Is that better? And I'll post, actually these are posted on the page too. I did a quick little upload, so they're up on the page. All right.
So Bridget, can I just ask a real quick question before you go into the details of this?
Mm-hmm.
So this is for people who didn't qualify on the previous page, who didn't hit level 5, who didn't hit level 5 circle, who didn't hit milestone 4, right?
Yeah.
So this is another way for you to get to convention.
Yeah, guaranteed spot. Guarantee your attendance. Yeah. So they're going to do registration a lot later this year. They're going to do registration, it looks like, in early August, because this runs from now until July. And I'm going to talk about the ramifications of really jumping on board and encouraging your teams to do the same. So you're going to get points for EC leg growth, just like we do in this class. Why do you think I give 4 points for EC leg growth? Now, here's the cool part. It doesn't have to be a new person. Actually, this is crappy for me because I had the highest EC leg count in the history of the company, or in my, I have people coming out of the woodwork hitting EC. So now, so what's going to happen is they're going to take your February EC count. So Trish, your February EC count was 8. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So anytime you're +2 EC growth, so let's say well, you've already earned your spot, but let's take, who's a new, let's say Candace, who isn't on the call. She's a new level 2. Every time she adds 2 more EC legs, she's going to get 4 points. Anytime she enrolls 2 consultants in a month on the 600 or higher, because this group, we don't recruit anybody on the 395 kit, just in case you're wondering, it's a no-no. It's just not how you build a big duplicate. It's not how you earn a Lexus. It's not how you build a business. Just if you're doing it, stop, because it's just not going to help you. So enroll 2 consultants each, either with the BBL or the RFX kit. And you got to do that in a commission period, 2 points. All right. So I'm going to give you an example of kind of how to get to 15. All right. And when you get to 15, they're going to give you $500 to use towards your convention registration and travel, which I think is really cool and a special gift. And if you're, aggressive and say, man, I got a ton of dead weight on my team, and the new product's launching, and maybe I can turn some of those gray dots. And, I'm not going to encourage a lot of you to go back and wake the dead to earn this. That's my biggest fear about this program, is any of you guys with some gray dots are going to want to go back and try and get people. Your best bet is to recruit, add new people, fresh energy onto your team, as opposed to going backwards but these EC legs don't have to be new consultants. They can be people who've never been an EC before. They could be someone who was an EC in January but wasn't an EC for you in February, because you're upping your net. You're upping your net EC leg count. Does that make sense? Like Amy, you probably have some people who weren't ECs for you this month, but that maybe kind of want, like they're telling you like, oh, no, I'm really ready now. That happens. Yeah. So you're like, ooh, okay, well, if you're coming to me and telling me you're ready, you haven't been an EC for me before, I don't have to go recruit somebody to get those 4 points. I can pop somebody who's already on my team. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right, Deanna, you've got a little bit of that, right? Now I got a ton of it. I have a lot of people who weren't, but I'm not going to spend a ton of time to try to make people who in the past have never shown any interest in becoming an EC and going and begging them. But what I might do is take some of those people or who are hitting $495, at the end of the month, and see what we can do, right? I might give them a little coaching to add, or maybe do a little thing. Well, hey, if your people will come on, I'll send them a free mini eye cream. You know what I mean? Because it's kind of worth it to me to get those EC legs cooking. Tim, you've got a little bit of that too. Where that new product, might get people kind of, we'll have a little bit of that in time to really push everything. Do you have a question? I'm done at 8. Yeah, should be, yeah. I don't know what time it is. I just talk. Okay. And then there's going to be a leaderboard. They anticipate that there's going to be 5,000 to 7,000 people that are going to achieve this in the company. And there's going to be it'll be interesting because I guess they update Lead the Way daily, but they're going to be a leaderboard. So you'll get to see your personal standing. They're encouraging us RFXers and premiers and elites and everybody to really run for this and be on the leaderboard too, because you can get a $5,000 reward and some convention recognition. So that's kind of cool. All right. So you'll see how you stand in this process. And then, so it's going to be announced in the field Monday, March 6th, and there'll be all the information will be in your back office. So you guys are totally getting this early. You're getting a little bit of time to get your head around this and maybe spend the weekend figuring out, okay, who on my team might want this? I'd be sending that convention video out to everybody on your team and asking them to watch it and reply with their interest in going. So let's talk about what a run for convention could look like. Guys, I think because I want to keep the community in here so tight, I like the way we have our program set up, but I also feel like sometimes I feel like I do you guys a disservice, but I worry that if it were 2 Cs every month, that I'd have about 4 people that were staying in this class consistently. And I want to give you guys all a chance to get those funnels filled and get going. But now you have a whole other reason to. I'm not changing the criteria for the class, but the criteria for the class is less than what this program is going to take. So I mapped it out and thought, and every single one of you that filled out the little, if you go over to, I don't know where Facebook went, I've lost all my windows. If you go over to our page, I mean, a couple of you guys have done it. I was really hoping you guys would I'm just trying to give you as many tools as I can, to kind of share this with your team. I don't know why that's not coming up. But I gave you guys this little guy, a couple of you guys brought it in, and you're putting the things in here that actually match this. So now we just have to amp up the outreach to really make it happen. That's what's happened. You're telling me I'm going to bring on 2 people this month. But now it's really time, if you want to come with us to Vegas and be a part of all that, a Meghan Trainor concert and, the kinds of things that, we're capable of doing. So I kind of mapped this out and thought, okay, so let's say you bring in 2 Cs in March, you're going to get 2 points. So I'm kind of starting for like some of you who are kind of brand new and you're like, okay, if you're brand new, you got a nice, big, full, fresh network of people that have never heard about Rodan Fields. You have an exciting launch date for Australia to talk about, to add to your story. You have a product that's being raved about by the media, the serum, and that was my big secret yesterday, is I am loving the product. I'm using it and I'm loving it. And you have, coming on the heels of Lash Boost and just the excitement of that product. So, I built this business without the AMP MD. I mean, I don't want to give you the whole I had to walk in the snow 2 hours uphill, because I didn't have a freaking AMP MD. I built this business on those regimens back there. All right. I got to Lexus volume without the AMP MD. All right. So I just think about I sometimes think, are we overwhelming people? We just got to start talking to people and sharing our enthusiasm. You guys saw that enthusiasm from Claire. It's got to be that. It's got to be that excited. And I just can't believe where this company is going. And we're going to talk more next week about language. So say in April, you bring on another 2 Cs. All right. I haven't even talked about promoting any of these people, because I know that not everybody that joined, the second they join, they promote to EC. I mean, unless you're Diane Mackey and her team, man, they get shit done. But, for most of us, like my girl Eliza, she joined in December and I got her to EC in February. That's more typical. I brought Candace on in October. She was EC by November. And then December was holidays. But then, February, shit's level 2. So you can never really predict how fast someone's going to build this. So I basically said in May, you're going to keep this train because you're really going to lean into this. And by May, you're going to have some people built up so that you can convert 2 out of 6. And that's for those of you that are brand new, that don't have a lot of inventory dead EC legs to work with, like some of us. We're really starting to track points, because once you get that recruiting engine going, so the idea is between now and July, we're gonna recruit 10, and we're gonna make 6 of them ECs. We're not even asking, we're just a little over 50%. And guess what? That's kind of what you saw in this class. About 50% went from last month to this month, and 50% fell away. That's the nature of the business. You're always that's why we want you to recruit 2, because one of them just is not going to do this on your timetable. So think in that kind of 50%. So then I did a little bit step further. I was like, is it worth it? Well, 16 points is going to get you a guaranteed spot at convention and $500 in convention swag. You recruit all those Cs. You're going to be just on the C recruitments alone is $1,000 in personal team commissions. And then all those, people hitting 600 over and over again. I actually think it's higher than 360. And that doesn't count the kind of the teams they build. So just off the top of your head, it's $2,000 to kind of lean in and get this going. But what you're really looking to build is the numbers I gave you guys, which were my convention numbers, right? I went to, the first one is with 1 person, the second one at 20. This is the trajectory. That's what's going to pay you, is getting out ahead of this now and doing it now. So you get your convention registration guaranteed. Here's the thing, guys. For those of you, I think about Candace and Tim and Amy, and I can't see all your faces, so I know I'm missing a bunch of names. You guys are all going to promote to level 5 with this. Like you now have like a really clear path of how to get to level 5, and you get all these other benefits along with it because you're no longer guaranteed a spot, even if you went last year, even if you signed up for virtual and all those things that have always been part of our tradition in the past. None of it applies anymore. Only this. So, and I think a lot of you, and I'm thinking of Trish, and I'm thinking of, Tim, and could really be sitting at the end of this with level 5 circle volume. And what does that mean? You get to choose from one of 12 cities to take your family to on an all expense paid vacation concierge. And then 10 additional lead the way miles. So what do you guys think about this run for convention? Let me hear questions and feedback from you guys. This will help me train the broader team, probably in a video that I'm going to do.
So Bridget, I've got a question.
Yeah.
May, June, and July, shouldn't those be 6 points? Because if you're recruiting 2 Cs plus 2 new EC legs, you got the 4 plus 2. So let me tell you something. So that's even bigger. That's 26 points, right?
Yeah.
And that's $1,000 plus convention swag. So it's even bigger. And the other neat thing about this is that this is on top of Lead the Way.
I know.
So it's pretty awesome.
Awesome. So let me up that. Yeah. As we go. So that's really helpful. Thank you. Thanks. I was actually feeling like it was a little like, so now it'll be at, we're at 18, 20, we're at 22.
28, 28, 20, wait.
24, 28.
Yeah, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 22. Oh, wait, so maybe it's not quite there.
Is it 22?
Is it 25 that you have to be? I can't see it so small.
Oh, yeah, I'll come back to it. Hold on. So 25 for the $1,000.
Oh, shoot. Okay, well, it's closer.
We're closer. So we can maybe, in the next training I do, I could give people an option. So now it's not even as hard as when I painted it out for you guys. See what that math does for you? How awesome is that? Okay. All right. So we can, I don't want to scale this back because I actually think, you guys, this is the pace that when you joined, your sponsor said, you said, what does it take to be successful? 2 consultants a month. 2 consultants a month. What does it take to earn my kit back? 2 consultants and they each get to EC. Like there's nothing new. There's nothing new to this story. It's just that we as leaders have to drill this down to our teams, right? And help them understand that now we're looking at almost, $2,500 in commissions. And I'm just lowballing that. But you want to replace the part-time income? Here's your path. You've rocked yourself into, a $2,500 paycheck and then some. So now convention's paid for and all that. And who knows? And when those 2 March C's come on board and they're like, what do you mean? I want to go to a convention. I'm like, okay, let's lay out a plan. Let's get it done. So I'm going to have my Bozeman team over Monday night to walk through this with them. I'll do probably a video version. Who else has questions? And your ECs don't have to be new, just a net increase. So February was a month where a bunch of your people didn't make it, then it shouldn't be hard to kind of ramp up those ECs. They kind of got halfway there. So now it's time to get after them about the lash bundle, do a little incentive or something to help them get there, whatever it takes. Questions, comments?
So the cutoff for this is the end of July or end of August?
It looks like end of July for an August registration. Mm-hmm.
So let's go back to just registering for convention.
Yeah.
So that first slide with like level 5, milestone 4, level 5 circle, all those are guaranteed. And then is there going to be a general registration after that?
Yep. So then once they fill it with this, then the other, 50, 60,000 people that want to go are going to fight for the last 1,000 spots. So do you want to take your chances?
Right, because this program launches March 6th, and it's going to take people time to build up to those numbers. And will convention just already be sold out, or are they holding those additional 5,000 slots or whatever it is?
Yeah.
for people who achieve in this program?
Yeah, they've run. Yeah, that was a good question. Justin, got asked that on the call. He's like, we have run the models, run. Like, we know there's enough room for. We know we know the percentage of people who are gonna run and hit this. There will be room for them, and then there will be some more seats left over, and then that's gonna just go out to the field. That's everybody. And then what I didn't get a question answered on new consultants that join, because we always hold some seats for those folks that join us like the month before. And I didn't get an answer on that yet. So let's wait and see because you guys are really just getting the slides and the high level info that I got, but they assured me there'd be a very detailed documentation on this. So you don't have to roll this out to your team until Monday. And what I would do over the weekend is just share the convention video and maybe, maybe even do a quick, like what Trish did. And just, I know, Tim, you've had some great convention experiences. Amy, you've been to all of them too. Deanna, maybe just do a little live video, for your team to say, hey, I want you to watch the convention video. And then I have got a few things to share with you, about my experiences, and maybe do something like that for your team and get them, because they'll go because you want them to go, not because I tell them to go. They could care less about me. They're going to go because you say, this is what it did for me. So it's really up to you guys to take this message, as you get the full message on Monday, and really drive it into your organization. Okay? Just like I'm doing. Make sense?
So Bridget.
Yeah.
Us level 5 and above, we're not even registering until August then?
No, actually, no. You guys actually get to register earlier, I believe. But this group, because they've got to earn it first, isn't going to be
right.
So they'll just have to know that they're planning on going, and I think it's enough time to get a decent airfare to Vegas.
I was just wondering, like, for hotel rooms and stuff, like.
Yeah. Let's see what comes out on Monday. Some of those little nitty gritty details we weren't able to go into on the call, but I would imagine. But yeah, if you were level 5, you get to register. I might have it in my notes, like May, I think it's May. Okay. All right. So this is super exciting, a great way to coach, great way. It's just another reason, you guys, we tell folks to bring on 2 a month. You guys are all seasoned leaders, so it's about outpacing your attrition, but new people don't always understand that kind of bigger picture, that, they don't understand that not everybody follows through when they enroll. It can be about getting to convention, and those bigger benefits and fun little cash bonuses. And so, you guys, I don't have the math skills, but you could map out, what would it take to earn 4,000, what would it take? I mean, the jump, once you hit, 15 up to, maybe it's not as significant. Like, like once you kind of really rev the base, like maybe getting to 40 and earning $4,000. I mean, a lot of people out there are motivated by money. I know probably in my earlier years, I'd have been going for those big numbers. So don't, probably just my own math skills kept me at those lower numbers, but you're going to have people in your organization that they'd love to have a $5,000 cash payout for working their butt off for the next 4 months.
Will you leave that page up of what it looks like to
yeah,
shows how to get to that 20?
Yeah, I'll share it with you. I'll put it on the page. Well, thanks now that Trish has, corrected me. So, all right, I'm getting called to dinner. So I'm going to wrap up here. And you guys can post questions on the page and stuff. How are you feeling about this? Like, are you excited? Or are you like, this seems like a lot of work? Like, what are you guys thinking? It'll be interesting.
I think it's a lot of work, but that's what we're doing this for. Like, we're running a business, so I think it's important work, and it comes with a benefit at the end. And I went to convention last year as my first convention, and I was a, one-person team, and I don't know, it kind of gave me like insight on what this business is about, in that it's not just, jumping in and just riding the wave. There's more to it. And I don't know, I think it's a great incentive because it's going to push me a lot more.
Yeah, good.
But after going through convention, I don't want to miss out. Like, I really want the opportunity to go again. So I think it's a great program.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too, but it's gonna require some leaning in. I mean, really, when you map it out, so it could be a good, exercise to kind of map out with people. There will be virtual. We'll do virtual again. Okay, dinner's ready, and my family cooked me dinner, which normally I'm the chef, so I should have to go. But hopefully you found this helpful. More stuff coming. Again, this doesn't launch till Monday. You're all kind of getting it early. I'm really appreciative of our new people coming on because you probably feel like you're drinking from a fire hose. But before, I want to say one last thing. One of the powerful things in this class is that we run our business from Wednesday to Wednesday instead of from month to month. Does that make sense? I think it's Peter Drucker and like all these other like management gurus that really say the pace of your business is the pace at which you're willing to review and be accountable to your numbers. So here's the deal, guys. We are accountable every Wednesday. We sit and we go over these numbers. We look at who's doing what. You're going to see people just skyrocket in this class, and you can go back and look at the other people and go, well, Tanya Breton, got to level 5. What do her numbers look like compared to somebody who didn't even make it to the next class? You can see the patterns, 3-way calls, launch events, new Cs, new like stats every single week. So my imperative to all of you is do not come to the class next week without a stat somewhere in there. Like we used to say all, zeros are okay, but all zeros aren't okay. Not in this new age. You can't get where we're wanting to go if you've got zeros in all of your columns. All right. So there's got to be a 3-way call in there somewhere. There's got to be, a new PC. There's got to be a new C in your stats each week. Like make a commitment to go, I'm not coming to the call without stats. We're going to love you if you do, just like they love you at Weight Watchers, whether you gain or lose weight, you still get on the scale, come to the class, but really push yourself to say, I'm not showing up to that class. I'm going to get that freaking 3-way call scheduled at 5 o'clock, before this call. If it kills me, push from the Wednesday to the Wednesday. And those are the people that jump out of this class with new title promotions, new team members, and bigger org volume. Okay. All right, guys, I got to run. Love ya. I got to go. I did record it, so I'm going to stop the recording and we'll share it with the team members that couldn't be on. Newbies, did I scare you? Yes, no? You're okay? No, look at her now. Are you kidding me? Nothing scares me. All right.
Diane's smiling, so we're good.
All right, Diane, we're going to see you at convention for sure. So let's run and have fun with this, guys. And love you. We'll have the best month ever in March. It's going to be great. All right.
Bon appetit.
Bye. Bon appetit.
Bye.
Bye. All right. Stop.